All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here on a Saturday, and I didn't plan to do this video, but I've had a lot of requests to show the process of this hydro mod that I did on my MDV-106B and also the standard model here. So what I did was I've got my gold model here, the gold and black one, the 106G. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the hydro mod on that and show you. A lot of people have left links in my last video, the one from yesterday, about LiveWatch doing this modification quite a while back, and that's awesome. Thank you for leaving that link down below. I'd actually not seen that video until just yesterday when somebody posted that link, so thank you for that. Really good video. But I'm just going to help you out. A couple of people have requested that I show it, so I'm going to show you how I did it here. Now, I've already loosened the case back on the watch. I've got a kind of a standard, whoops, tool rolling off the table there. I've got a standard case back tool here. It's funny, I got it out of my toolbox, and it was so slick with oil from doing the blue mod that it is what it is. And I'll let you guys know right off that the silicone oil is super, super slippery. So I'm just going to use the toothpick to spin the case back off a little bit here the rest of the way. And we'll go ahead and pop that off of the watch. Got to unscrew the rest. There it goes. So pop it off. And I'm just using the toothpick because I guess, you know, when you're working with electronics, you're using it's not great to use metal. So this is the oil or the silicone I've used for the other two watches, this micro lubrol. I will leave a link to Amazon where you can pick up a bottle of this. It's about $11 for a bottle. So once you get your case back off, you guys can see the case back seal sets down inside of the case here. You want to keep that there. You have a movement holder here on the watch, and inside of the movement holder, you'll see these four little spots going around here where you can kind of pry the movement holder up. I did this in a battery change video I did. I know it was a terrible video. I beat the heck out of the watch trying to change the battery, but you're going to want to go ahead and lift this movement holder out of the watch. Comes out pretty easily like that. This is never easy to do. I'm actually kind of looking around the camera, guys, to do this on camera. So simple little movement holder that keeps the movement in place. You're always going to know where that goes. Because of this slot for the crown here. I'm not going to pull the crown of the watch. One of the things I wanted to point out is you do have this hole here, which actually helps quite a bit with air bubbles. It really lets the air bubbles come out while you're doing this modification. Now, here is the inside of the watch. It's kind of interesting because the gold one has gold. The other two have silver on the back side of the case, so this must have something to do. They use a gold anodizing, it looks like, on the movement. The other thing I did before I got this going is I did unscrew the crown, guys, and we're going to go ahead and, at this point, we're not going to pull the crown out of the watch. We're going to pop it all the way out and stop the movement. Now, one of the things you can see is when I was pulling on that, you can see the movement kind of lift up. See that lift up? That's one of the things you want to have and be able to do because it's going to allow you to squirt the oil down underneath the movement here. So I'm going to go ahead and move these two watches completely out of the way here, and we'll go ahead and get started on this. Now, you guys can see I've got it on a plate. I've got paper towels underneath it. I'm going to just tell you guys, this is a messy modification. Nothing about this is clean. You're going to have oil over everything. I may have to stop this video kind of to wipe everything down so I can keep going, but simple as this. You're going to go ahead and take your little bottle of micro lubrol here. I'll save my cap over here so I don't lose it. And you want to use this one because it has this tip that makes it easy to squirt the oil down underneath the movement of the watch. So I'm going to go ahead and get it like I had it before, and we're going to pop that movement up like that. And I'm going to take the tip of my oil and I'm just going to start squirting it in there. And you can't overfill these things. If you do overfill it, it's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to, you know, fill the watch up more. I actually am going to squirt it in here till I see it coming out the other side, and then I'm going to let it lay down like that. So I saw it coming out the back side here, so hopefully I don't have any air bubbles in there. So then you're just going to fill this thing up, basically till you see it hit that edge there, where it hits the edge of the seal. And because you're going to put the movement holder in there, it's going to overflow a bit. So you're going to want to take your movement holder and gently set it down inside of here. And press that down. You can see oil's going everywhere. And I'll tell you guys, it's going to be difficult to turn the bezel on the watch for a while because that oil is going to be underneath the bezel. Now I'm going to try to get my teeth locked in here. And I want to try to get this case back started. It's really hard being as slippery as everything is to get those threads to engage properly and get enough pressure on it that you're not, also, you don't want to move that seal or get that seal messed up in any way. So let me go ahead and pause it for just a second. I'll get this case back secured on here and I'll show you the watch. So I think what helps is using the actual case back tool because it applies even pressure across there. So we're going to get this screwed down tightly, nice and snug, because we don't want oil leaking out of the case back. We want it tight enough that the seal's holding it. And I'm also going to go ahead and push in the crown, and we're going to screw that down to keep any oil. Oh, and I've got it cross-threaded here. There we go. And get that crown screwed down there. And then we're going to flip the watch over and see if we have any air bubbles in it. And oh my gosh, we have a huge air bubble in there. You see that? Whole half of it. So I'm going to have to crack the case again, and we're going to fill it again. I'll get it open here and we'll start filling it again. I had to do this on the blue one twice to get it filled up right. So I set that dial down a little bit too quick without getting enough oil underneath there. So let me pause it. We'll get the case back off and fill it up again. All right, so again, I've got the movement pried up, and we obviously need to get quite a bit more oil down underneath, inside of that, under that dial. So I'm going to try to keep prying up. And now that everything's slippery, it does get a lot harder to do, to make sure you get it underneath there. And boy, it is slippery. So let me make sure my crown is out all the way. And there we go. We got it lifted up again. It just falls back down on me. So, and I think really the key is just almost overfilling this thing with oil. Just making sure you have a ton of oil in there. And I can feel it coming out. So hopefully we got it that time. We'll give it a second here for any bubbles to come out, hopefully. We're going to go ahead and put our movement holder back in. Get it down there nicely. And I'm going to go ahead and even push a little oil through here, just to make sure it's flowing everywhere, so I know we've got it in there. So let's try with the case back again. Go ahead and get this screwed back on. And guys, you do have to be patient, you know. I mean, what else you got to do right now, right? You're sheltering in place. So take your time, be a little patient. And get it, let's see. My tool's closed up on me. All right, let's see if we did it right this time. Case back is on. Nice and snug, not too tight. Crown is in. We've got a little bubble still. Darn it. So now we've cleaned that up to where we've only got this small bubble up at the top. But I'm going to go for my third attempt here, guys, and we're gonna fill this thing up. So hopefully, I'm not going to show you the full effort here, but I'm going to fill it up one more time. All right, so third time is a charm. I was able to do the same process for the third time, just prying up. And I figured out what I was doing was I was leaving the watch too flat. When you're prying up that movement, you almost want to flip the watch so that the face is not down, because that'll let the air bubble come up and pressurize it at the same time. Hold it there for a second so that air bubble comes out, and then press your movement down, the dial down while you're still holding it like that. And that pushed all of that air out. And as you guys can see, again, we've got this just incredible clarity here. Now, I did take this inside and I used some Dawn detergent and really scrubbed it down. I'll tell you guys, you'll wash this watch like 3 times and you still feel like you're feeling grease, but there's no oil coming out of it. The case back seal keeps, that sealed up, and then you've got your crown seal here. It is a 200-meter watch, so if it's not going to let water in for 200 meters, it's definitely not going to let that oil out past that seal. Obviously, using that silicone oil in there keeps that keeps that seal on the watch really nicely, clean and lubricated, as well as the crown seal also. So definitely cool. That's the video on how you actually do it, guys. So now all 3 of my Casios have been hydro modded, and I think it looks really cool. You guys have seen the black one, so check out the blue and the gold and black together. So definitely fun, definitely something to do if you guys are bored and sheltering in place, but definitely a messy little project, so you got to take your time and be patient. So, all right, guys, the bubble mod of the Casio MDV-106, or not bubble mod, the hydro mod, I should call it, of the MDV-106G. All right, guys, you like it, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom, and if you've not subscribed to the OFD channel, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.